So if you're watching this video and you actually have a car with negative equity, it sucks, okay? But you know what sucks even more than actually having a car that's worth less than your actual loan balance and you can't sell it? The answer is, what's worse is actually buying a mattress like I did for $2,000 and then finally realizing, hey, I just made a bad decision. The company won't take it back, and then I couldn't even sell the mattress for like $200. So I only had one option: go bankrupt, okay? File for bankruptcy. Obviously, I'm kidding on the bankruptcy side, but I'm not kidding on the example that actually happened to me, and I had to swallow my pride and pay that thing off as fast as I possibly could. So in this video, I'm going to give you guys three options, and I just hinted one, which is basically bankruptcy. But by the way, before we actually even start thinking about bankruptcy, I really want to share with you guys those other two options, okay? Because you actually don't want to do that. But let's get right into the video, and do me a favor and actually smash the like button. Now, the very first option, guys, is going to be you gotta pay this thing off, all right? There is no way around it. And guess what? It is going to hurt, because a lot of the times when people have negative equity on a car, sometimes, okay, you buy a car, it depreciates very quickly, more than you actually thought it was actually going to depreciate, and now, boom, you have negative equity. But a lot of the times, it's you actually having a car, paying it off, going to a dealer for a checkup or whatever, and they offer you another car, and you say, I already have a car, and I already have a loan. Don't worry, we'll roll it over into your new car. And then you say, but the payments, they're going to be too high. And they say, hey, don't worry, you have good credit. We're going to extend the terms and basically give you also a low payment. And before you know it, you have crazy negative equity, and you dig a hole that's so deep that you don't know how you're actually going to climb out of it. But don't worry, it's actually possible. Now, here's the example, okay? Let's say I actually went ahead and bought a car for $30,000. The loan balance on this car now is about $25,000, and the value of the car is only about $20,000. That means I have negative equity of about $5,000. Now, what do I do here, okay? How do I actually get rid of this? If I can find an idiot to buy my $20,000 car for $25,000, I'm basically done, okay? Great stuff. But most of the time, you're not gonna find an idiot, okay? So you're the idiot, okay? And I've been the idiot a lot of the times. And guess what? You gotta pay it off, right? So the first option is going to be, you gotta get on a crazy budget. You can't be having too much crazy fun, and you also have to work some extra hours. And you have to use all that money to basically go ahead and pay this thing down to the point where you get to a point where you no longer have negative equity. And at that point, you can sell the car, pay it off, and you're fully done. Now, that sounds easy, but getting on a budget, not spending any money, and then having to work extra hours, and then finally paying something off just to be finally debt-free from this car, and now having to buy another one? The answer is, it sounds easy, but it can take a long time. 6 months, 12 months, maybe even longer. So here's a second way to actually pay it off, okay? Second way is, I have negative equity of $5,000. That is true, but I can also have access to other credit lines, okay? So let's say, for example, I go to my local bank or to my local credit union, and I say, hey, I need a loan. How much can you guys actually approve me for? They say, hey, we can get you about $8,000, Tommy. And I'm like, all right, great. I grab the $8,000, I go to the bank, and I say, hey, here's $5,000. I'm done with the car. I basically, boom, it's done, it's paid off. I'm done with it, right? Because I paid off my negative equity. I also sell the car. Now, how much money do I have left over? The answer is $3,000 in cash from the loan I actually got. Now, I go on Car Guru or Facebook Marketplace, and I get me a decent used car for $3,000. And that's basically it. That's the end of the story. However, how much do I owe now? I owe a total of about $8,000 instead of actually owing, for example, $25,000. Remember, although you have negative equity of $5,000, you still have a loan balance of $25,000. So don't forget that, okay? So instead of owing $25,000 and owing $8,000, that is going to be a lot better. Now, there is a third way to pay it off, and I call it the idiot way. The idiot way is just act like it doesn't matter. Just pay it off in the 5 to 7 year loan term, and then at the end of that road, do you know what you have? You have, for example, paid a bunch of interest, a bunch of money, and you also have an asset that is actually worth a lot less. If you had negative equity, if the car was worth $20,000 when we first started, 5 years later that car is probably going to be worth like maybe maybe more like $10,000 to $8,000. Okay, so you have something that's actually worse off now. So I don't like that way at all, because it's like the quitter way. I'll just keep making the payments. It's no big deal. No, it is a big deal. Just pay that thing off and rip it off like a Band-Aid. Now, the second way to actually go about getting out of negative equity deal with a car is going to be a way that I don't like, but it's actually going to be declare bankruptcy. And bankruptcy is the easy way out. I don't really want to use this word, but I'm going to use it anyways. It's more like just being a coward about your debt. And by the way, are there any legitimate ways or reasons to actually go bankrupt? The answer is, of course. Sometimes you get into such a big mess that you can't dig yourself out of it, and you got to go bankrupt. But if you have negative equity of $5,000, $10,000, $15,000, I've seen even $20,000 on some posts I read on Reddit. The answer is it can get ugly, but it's not impossible to pay those things off. So before you actually go and say, hey, I'm just going to go bankrupt, the answer is you're just doing the same thing you did the first time. The first time you wanted another car. So guess what? You got instant gratification for yourself in that very moment, right? So you felt pretty good about it. You got the car. You rolled over the other loan balance you actually had. You have negative equity, but that's a problem for your future self, okay? But now you're going to basically say, I don't want to make these payments. I don't want to have to work harder. I don't want to have to get on a budget. I'm just going to go bankrupt. Well, now you go bankrupt and you pass on that problem of having a bankruptcy on your credit history over to your future self. It's all coward mentality, okay? It's all procrastination. It's all a lack of, for example, work ethic in a way, okay? So you got to be willing to say, no, I'm not going to pass this on to my future self. I'm going to take care of it now. And that makes a lot of sense. Now, if you're in a crazy hole, then bankruptcy might be an option, but I really, really don't recommend it. Now, the third option here is going to be doing a voluntary repossession. Repossession is, for example, right? You ever seen those shows where people don't make their car payments and then somebody comes in, locks up the wheel, and then takes it and brings it to a lot, and you got to pay a bunch of money to actually get it back? That's a repossession. But doing a voluntary possession is when you say, hey, I can't make these payments. I'm going to drive the car over to the lot myself. Here's the car. I am done. All right? Now, in this example, there are some people out there that say, hey, I just hope that if I bring the car back, I say I have no money, I say I have no way to pay, that it's just going to take it back and basically charge it off my account, okay? And they won't sue me and garnish my wages, which, by the way, is possible, and some people will actually go after you. Now, here's a problem. Having a charge off or having your wages garnished, that ruins your credibility. But more importantly, you actually lose out on some control when you actually take on this option. Because you know what they do when you bring in a car and you say, I'm done with it? Well, the dealer or the person you actually gave the car to, or the corporation you actually gave the car to, they say, well, we're just going to auction this car off, all right? So if the car is worth $20,000 and they put it in an auction, most likely it's not going to sell for $20,000. It might sell for $13,000. And guess what? Your loan balance was actually $25,000. Now, what's $13,000 minus $25,000? Well, you have, for example, 7 plus 5. That's going to be $12,000 is the difference. Now you're in the hole for $12,000. And you also have a bad relationship with the dealer, all right? And a bad reputation overall. And most likely, your credit score is going to probably take a hit. So it's like the option you probably don't want to take either. So that's why I say, all right, the best option, all these options suck. All these options hurt. But the best option is probably going to be option 1. To eat it, to work, to pay it, and then to finally be done with it. Or borrow some money, pay it, and then pay that, okay? That's the idea. But don't just act like nothing's going on. Don't just say bankruptcy, and don't just say take it back. All right. You wanna handle this, okay? And by the way, I do want to say something else, okay? Whenever you find yourself in a market where used cars are worth more than they used to be, it's a very rare market. Where you had, for example, negative equity and now you don't utilize those very special moments in history to get into more debt or to buy another car. Use those moments in history to get out of your problems and then to use money to buy something in cash. There are Honda Civics 2011, Corollas 2010 and 2005, 2000, 2001 also, that still run till this very day. Cars that will keep running for 5 years as you buy them, okay? And instead of making $500 monthly payments, you could have, for example, in 5 years, about $30,000 saved up, okay? And not to buy a car, but to invest, to pay off your debt, to put yourself in a better position. So yes, this sucks, but when you're in prison and you have a sentence and there's evidence against you, you gotta serve your time. Likewise, with this entire issue with the car and negative equity. You just gotta pay it off, and you gotta do what you gotta do, and you gotta fix it, okay? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Subscribe to the channel, by the way, if you like this content. I got more on the way.